Hi, everyone. Welcome to the How We Hustle podcast.
I'm Mike.
And I'm Tanya. And we invite you to join us in our unfiltered conversation about the real life hustle of being an entrepreneur. For more information about the podcast, check out howwehustlepodcast.com. Make sure to follow us on Instagram at How We Hustle Podcast, where you'll get notable quotes from our episodes and updates on live new episodes. So head over to Instagram and follow us at How We Hustle Podcast.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? So today I am hosting the podcast solo. And that is because, it's been a while since I've really, talked about what I'm doing. I kind of, Tanya and I, we talk about, the hustle of running our business, but it's been a while since I've sort of checked in and, really talked about what is going on in my business right now. So it's a good time for me to come on because I'm working on some new stuff, and it's actually approaching the 2-year anniversary of when I sold my last writing company. So it's been it's been almost 3 years since Tanya and I started the podcast, and it's been almost 2 years since I took a, big pivot in my journey. And the last 2 years definitely have been a lot of things, exciting, more challenging, humbling, unpredictable, as I have tried to not just start a new business, but, figure out what I'm doing next. Because it's easy to sort of plan, in your head what the future's going to look like. But then when you start doing it, things change. And that's definitely what's happened with me. So, when I sold my business 2 years ago, I set out to start a publishing company. And that's what I did, and that is what I still do. So I have a publishing company called Peacock Books, where I work with entrepreneurs and professionals to, help them get their book ideas planned, written, published, so that they can become authorities in their space and, grow their business, right? So I have been doing that. And the reason I wanted to get into that was because I just love writing. I love putting together ideas, and the thought of helping others put their books together was very appealing to me. So when I started doing that, it was challenging because I charged basically $10,000 to work with me to get a book published, and I had never tried to get clients at that level before, and I had never executed on providing services at that level before. And there's intricacies when it comes to both of those things. Initially, I didn't know how to get clients. The first 2 clients I got they took a while, and they were a struggle because, I was starting from zero again, and I had my ego to deal with. My ego was telling me, oh, you're a successful entrepreneur. You just started your business. Like, starting a new business won't be hard. And then there was reality, which actually was hard, right? So I struggled to launch my B2B publishing company, when I started, because I just didn't really have a system for how to attract people into my business. Now, I was experimenting, trying different things. And one of the curses that I've had over the last 2 years, it sounds crazy to say, but, I sold my business and I got paid for that. So I had money, in savings now. Now I had money that I could use to start a new business. And, that's dangerous, right? Because if you have money to lean on that you don't really need, you're going to spend it. And ultimately, you're probably not going to, get the results. Because really the way to start a business is just to create an offer and sell. And I was using money to almost avoid that reality of just having to sell to grow my business. So I kind of got frustrated. I got frustrated with my new business, and I didn't quit it, but I was thinking about how I can pivot. What else can I do? So I met someone in a coaching group that I'm in, and what he does is LinkedIn coaching. So he was looking for a phone salesperson. This was about over a year ago. And I started working for him as a phone salesperson. So he's a LinkedIn coach, charged about $10,000 to work with him. And he ran a webinar funnel online. And my job was to take the calls. and try and close those leads into his coaching clients. So the reason I took that job was really because I wanted to learn. I wanted to learn from someone I wanted to learn phone sales, I wanted to learn high ticket sales, and I wanted to learn how other online people were doing their business. So I started working for him, and when I did that, I learned so much about LinkedIn. And it really blew my mind. Not only did I learn so much about LinkedIn, but I was speaking with other entrepreneurs every single day, and I was hearing what they were struggling with on LinkedIn. And it was all the same. Like every single person I talked to, including myself, we just want a simple system to bring leads, to attract our dream clients to us. Like, so many people think that LinkedIn is complicated. It's really not. LinkedIn is just a platform. It's a matter of how you position it to bring clients into your life, and that's what the coach I was working for was teaching. But the people I was speaking to, they didn't want that kind of coaching relationship. They didn't want a $10,000 coaching relationship just to set up their LinkedIn. So anyway, that's I'm digressing a little bit, but it really opened my eyes to LinkedIn and the potential of LinkedIn, and also the demand out there for people that need help with it, need help growing their business. So I stopped working as a phone sale coach about a year ago, and I immersed myself in LinkedIn because I'm like, you know what? If I can just implement myself what I was just learning about LinkedIn, I can grow my publishing business. So I had learned a lot from the coach I was working for, and I had, as soon as I stopped working for him, I enrolled in a bunch of other LinkedIn coaching programs. I wanted to learn everything there was to know about LinkedIn. And in addition to that, I really got some training when it comes to funnels, and really studied up on funnel marketing as well. And I started taking all of the information that I was getting, and I created my own system. I created my own version of the LinkedIn sales funnel. Because that's really the key, is what I learned from everyone, is that you must be a funnel, right? So I turned my LinkedIn into a funnel. I experimented, I tried different things, and I really perfected the LinkedIn sales funnel. Since then, LinkedIn has been really the only platform that I use to attract clients into my publishing company. In the last year, I've published some really cool books. I've gone to some fun. I've had a lot of opportunities that have come my way, really fun opportunities, really interesting opportunities. I've met a lot of interesting people just because, and I've published a lot of interesting books, really just because of the networking and client attraction that I'm doing now on LinkedIn with my new LinkedIn sales funnel. So it's funny because I really went from not knowing how to attract any high ticket clients into my business to, having a predictable system in place that would really just do it. So I started telling people, like in my circle, my extended circle, and when I met them, I started telling people, especially those who want to listen, who are interested, how I've really cracked the code to LinkedIn. And I started getting people asking me to coach them. They're saying, well, can you show me? I'm like, well, yeah, it's just a matter of putting it into a funnel. They're like, yeah, well, show me what you mean. I'm like, oh, okay. So I actually have been working with some people over the last 6 months, especially, to show them how to build a LinkedIn sales funnel. So anyway, on this podcast, that's kind of me putting everything into context. I'm still running my publishing company. It's going well. I'm using LinkedIn to attract a few clients into my business every single month. But now I'm also really focusing on LinkedIn and helping other people kind of replicate the results that I've gotten on LinkedIn. It's really been the only platform that has allowed me to predictably, get into conversations with the right people, every single week, right? So I'm going to share with you on this podcast a lot of value about LinkedIn, because So many people avoid LinkedIn because they think it's complicated. Like I already said this. They think it's complicated. They think they don't know how to use it to their advantage. And I'm here to tell you that LinkedIn is really simple. Okay, LinkedIn is just a platform. We have to use the same principles of messaging, of funnels, of marketing, of sales in LinkedIn. But the key is to just set up your LinkedIn in a way that is conducive to everything working well together. I want to also explain, why I love LinkedIn, especially for B2B. So if you run a business or you're a professional and you serve other business owners, other business people, then LinkedIn is where you need to be because you can target so amazingly well on LinkedIn. Like you can target by position. You can't do that on Facebook. You can't do that on other sites. That's what makes LinkedIn so great. And there's no gatekeeper on LinkedIn. Like message rates on LinkedIn are very high. So, if you went to some, high value person's office or you cold call them or you cold email them, there's a very small chance that will actually get to them. But on LinkedIn, you have a direct pipeline to your dream clients. It is the best platform for B2B, lead gen, client attraction, and growing your business. So there really are 5 things that successful people are doing on LinkedIn that others are not. Okay, so I really call these like the 5 LinkedIn secrets, and I want to share them with you now. So, once you understand the secrets about LinkedIn that I figured out and I'm about to share with you, you'll really know how to be seen as an authority figure in your industry, like regardless of what your competition is doing. You'll really be able to have complete control over your pipeline flow through LinkedIn because it's just a matter of setting it up, turning it on, and nurturing that system. That's that client attraction funnel on LinkedIn. And you'll really, be able to take advantage of what I call the LinkedIn gold rush, right? Because, I don't know, Gary Vee has this great YouTube video where he talks about how 2019 really is the year of LinkedIn. And if you're not on there, you are missing out big time. And it's totally true. So secret number 1 on how to leverage LinkedIn is do not follow the rules of LinkedIn. Okay. Secret number 1 is do not follow the rules of LinkedIn. Most people, when it comes to LinkedIn, they always follow these traditional so-called rules of LinkedIn, right? And that's why they're not getting results from it. Because they're simply using LinkedIn the old way, and the old way no longer works when it comes to getting clients on LinkedIn. So what you really need to do is use LinkedIn the new way, okay? So the new way is turning it into a client attraction tool or a client attraction funnel. Right now, most people just have LinkedIn accounts, they have profiles, but they don't do anything. They're just these static pages that sit there, kind of like websites. But we want to take a more active approach to LinkedIn, and that is, the first step with taking an active approach is turning your LinkedIn profile into a sales page. Like 99% of the people out there have a resume on their LinkedIn profile and they talk about themselves on their LinkedIn profile, okay? But why would you put your resume on your LinkedIn profile if you're on LinkedIn to try and get clients, right? A resume is for getting a job, right? So if you are on LinkedIn to get a job, then yeah, put your resume on there. But if you're on there to grow your business, to get clients, then you want to turn it into a sales page, not a resume, right? Because your potential clients, they actually don't care about your job history. They don't care about your education. They don't care about the awards you've gotten. All they care about is that you can solve their problem and provide them with an outcome, okay? So turn your profile, throw the traditional rules of LinkedIn out the window that say you need to turn it into a resume and use that space to speak to the problems that your dream clients have. Speak to the solutions you have for them and the results you can get for them. So, just to summarize that, don't talk about yourself, right? Use your profile to show your prospects that you understand them. Because when you do this, when you do it effectively, you all of a sudden become the right person to solve those problems, right? You position yourself as an authority figure. So let's say, as an example, I love to use the doctor example when it comes to sales, because I always believe you should take the doctor frame, Okay, when you're selling something, growing your business, take the doctor frame. So imagine that you have a sore back, right? You are deciding which doctor you want to go get treatment with. So you interview 2 doctors, and doctor number 1 says, hey, you should use me because I went to the best medical school. I'm a certified back pain expert, and I've been seeing patients like you for 30 years. Like, okay. Doctor number 2 says, I can see just from looking at you why your back is always hurting. It looks to me like you have a leg injury that never healed properly. And if we address that first, then we can fix your posture and your back issue will get better. And you'll finally be able to keep up with your children again. So it's just, these are 2 examples of different ways of presenting yourself. Doctor 1 talked about himself, and Doctor 2 showed that he understood, the patient. And therefore the patient, because that doctor becomes automatically the right person to help that patient because he understands, or he or she understands the patient. All right. So this is really how you want to resonate with people on LinkedIn. You do not want to, make it a resume site. Okay. So break the traditional rules of LinkedIn by throwing out the old resume approach and turn it into a client-facing sales page that speaks with your clients. All right. Now, secret number 2 is to stop thinking small on LinkedIn. And one of the reasons I love LinkedIn is it's really the great equalizer because everyone gets the same amount of space on LinkedIn, right? Your competitors might have more experience or credentials or testimonials, but they don't have better access to LinkedIn than you, and they're probably using LinkedIn poorly. So this means that if you put the time into your LinkedIn strategy and you learn proven client acquisition strategies, you can really excel on there in ways that those in the top of your industry are not. Really, every single person has the opportunity to be a big player when it comes to LinkedIn. So don't let your small thinking prevent you from getting those results. Because if you put effort into your LinkedIn, you are going to be seen as an authority figure and a leader to your dream clients that are seeing your profile. Okay. This is especially true when I started really focusing on LinkedIn myself. I wasn't a big entrepreneurial publisher, but I was, kind of acting like one, and that's all that mattered. I had the right messaging, I was saying the right things, and the right clients were attracted to me for that reason. So yeah, if you put effort into it, good things are going to happen. Okay. So secret, I also want, just to show as an example, go to someone's LinkedIn page that does what you do and ask yourself, is it really good? It's probably not. Okay. So, just check it out and you'll see what I mean when I say that you can look better than the big players in your industry by just putting effort into it. Okay. Now, secret number 3 when it comes to success on LinkedIn is stop doing everything manually. Now, technology is your friend, right? And there are all sorts of ways you can leverage automation tools to exponentially increase your results on LinkedIn. This is something that Tanya and I are talking about next week, I believe, automation, how to use it properly. But in my opinion, without question, you should be using automation or prospecting tools on LinkedIn because they can just really exponentially 10x or 100x your results on there. Many people avoid using automation tools on, LinkedIn or just on platforms in general, but the key is to use them the right way. Use automation tools smartly, use it the right way so you're not coming off as spammy, you're not coming off as robotic, you're not coming off as annoying. You're just using automation to knock on more doors, and those people are going to open the door and come into your funnel. Okay. So, I use automation to really add 30 dream clients to my connections every single day, basically on autopilot, and they don't know I'm using automation. So it's a right way to use it, a wrong way to use it. But if you use automation tools with LinkedIn the right way, it can really be a game changer. Okay. Here's a little exercise. If you go to LinkedIn, go to your profile and you can check out your dashboard. So everyone on LinkedIn has a dashboard where it just shows your numbers. Who's viewed your profile, who's viewed your posts, how many times you're getting found in search appearances. Now go look at how many people have viewed your profile. okay? If that number is less than 100, less than 50, less than 10, you're pretty much invisible on there, right? So you might as well use prospecting tools, okay? Because no one's seeing you anyway, so you might as well do that. Now, secret number 4 is to treat your LinkedIn like a funnel. So I really believe that you need to turn your LinkedIn strategy and profile into a client attraction funnel, or some people call it a profile funnel. Now, I did not invent this idea of a LinkedIn funnel, but I did perfect it, okay? I believe I've perfected the LinkedIn sales funnel. So everything you do on LinkedIn should lead your prospects in the direction of them becoming a paying client, right? So LinkedIn is where relationships begin, but in most cases, it's not where they end. So once you have identified your dream clients, you've connected with them, you've engaged them, that's when you want to take them beyond LinkedIn. So you've created a funnel, you've created a journey that passes through LinkedIn, but often ends up, on a phone call, on a webinar, on a, whatever it is, through messaging, through email. But you want to make sure that those that go through your LinkedIn have a journey to go through. You've thought deliberately about how they're going to move through your LinkedIn, how, what's going to push them deeper through each step. Okay. The point is really, most people don't do this. Like, go check it. No one does this on LinkedIn. I certainly do. You can check out my LinkedIn at peacockbooks.co, but most others don't. They don't tell people what they want them to do next. There's no journey. There's no funnel. Okay. So make it easy for your prospects to move to the next level of building a relationship with you on LinkedIn. When I identify and connect with dream clients on LinkedIn, what I do is I build rapport through LinkedIn messaging, and then I like to move them onto a short phone call, or I save them onto my email list, or I save them as a lead on LinkedIn, or I nurture them on my terms. Okay? But the point here is to stop treating your LinkedIn like a static page. Instead, think of it more as, a funnel that takes your prospects somewhere. Even like at the very minimum, just put a call booking link on your LinkedIn summary. You know what I mean? So that at the very minimum, at least if people want to talk to you, they can just click your call booking link. Like, that is a very simple version of a funnel. So if you do nothing else, just put a call booking link on your LinkedIn so people know how to get in touch with you. Okay? If you really do that, that's all there is to it. But secret number 5 is don't do it alone. Okay? So as Tanya and I always talk about, entrepreneurship, business, it's all a team sport. So cracking the code of LinkedIn is really no different. When I was learning LinkedIn, it was teamwork for me. I worked with a lot of coaches, LinkedIn coaches, funnel coaches. I'm really, a student of entrepreneurship. I have been for a long time. But, the golden age of LinkedIn is really taking place right now. And there's a tremendous opportunity for anyone that does take advantage. They call it the social selling revolution, right? But the key is to get help. Because if your LinkedIn is not bringing you clients right now, then you need to get help, right? Because you're missing out big time. Like the cost of not using LinkedIn is really big. It's really every single customer that you should be getting that you're not, because you're not trying to get customers on LinkedIn. So, as I said, so many people think that LinkedIn is complicated. It's not. It's really just a skill that you got to figure out. You got to figure out the platform and figure out how to optimally implement a funnel using that platform. Okay? So I want to tell everyone about my new training. So I told you I have, in addition to working for Peacock Books, getting book clients, I am doing some LinkedIn coaching. So I've been doing this over the last 6 months, and I've really developed a methodology for putting together the perfect LinkedIn sales funnel. When I started coaching, it was sort of, I didn't really have the whole thing documented, but over the last 6 months, I have turned it into a formula. Okay. So I am hosting a training right now, And on this training, I call it the simple and new way to get B2B clients on LinkedIn. But on this training, I really just break it down step by step, what you need to have in place to put together the perfect LinkedIn client attraction funnel. So I would love it if everyone would go check that out, because I think a lot of people will really learn a lot from it. I do have an offer at the end, and it might make sense for some people to check that out, but really just, check out my training. It's 60 minutes long. Anyone can sign up for it, and it's full of value. Like, I've really put it together to make sure that everyone walks away from it with, actionable things they can do to get quick wins starting from day one when it comes to attracting their dream clients on LinkedIn. So without further ado, you can go check out my latest LinkedIn training. It's at linkedinfunnelhacker.com. That's linkedinfunnelhacker.com. And I've also included a quick little training as part of that video on how to optimize your profile. So check that out, because if you optimize your profile just based on the little tips I give you in this video, you will have probably the best LinkedIn profile of anyone you know. So go check that out. Once again, my training is at linkedinfunnelhacker.com. And please get in touch and let me know what you thought of it. I would love to hear your feedback, and especially from the podcast listening community. So thank you all for joining me on this episode, and I will see you guys next time.
And that's a wrap on another episode of How We Hustle. For more information, check out howwehustlepodcast.com.